Two of the most powerful AI companies on the planet, Anthropic and OpenAI, are finally headed for the stock market. We're talking $1 trillion valuation, data center gold rush, and a complete rethink of how software, jobs, and capital work. But here's the twist. This isn't just a tech story, it's an industry story. More like the steel and railroads in the early 1900s. This is not just an app on your phone. This is a revolution of a new industry. And today we're going to break it down, the infrastructure arm race behind it, BlackRock and what private equity are doing in the background, and what it all means for blue collar America. This is Monday Market Briefs. Anthropic and OpenAI are not just flashy startups. They are right now the two most valuable private companies on earth. Both are preparing to go public. Anthropic has raised enormous rounds of valuation, brushing up against the $1 trillion mark. OpenAI, backed heavily by Microsoft, is also eyeing a potential $1 trillion valuation when it eventually lists. The exact timing is still in motion. These guys are preparing to go public, and they're looking at when to actually execute that in Q4 of 2026 or Q1 of 2027. So this is kind of like, woo, we'll see, right? These guys are the two most valuable private companies out there, both targeting and flirting with the $1 trillion valuation. These $1 trillion valuations are huge, especially as now our boy Elon Musk has now become a trillionaire, and his valuation of his company that just went public. So to really understand why this matters, we need a quick little history of AI. Listen, don't worry, I ain't gonna get too deep, but we gotta understand where this AI thing is coming from. A lot of people just think it came out of nowhere. Modern AI goes back to the mid-1900s, where Alan Turing is asking the question, can machines think? In 1956, a group of researchers at DART basically invents the field and is giving it the name artificial intelligence since the 1956. For decades, this thing has been through different iterations of how to advance artificial intelligence as we know it as AI over the years. As money dried up, things shortened up, industries changed, the economics of things changed. They're trying to figure out exactly what to do. What changed in the last decade that made this thing a full force was cloud computing made a massive computer power rentable. So that means now that we can go cloud computing, right? The internet and the enterprise software gave a gigantic database. The third thing that helped them out was the way that AI can learn and get the more compute and data as it kind of learns from itself. Right? So listen, in this age of AI, what makes this AI wave different from the cloud wave or mobile or social media you had? AI has the ability to do cognitive work, draft emails, write and debug code, summarize contracts, plan marketing campaigns, analyze data, even act as an agent and perform multi-step workflows, right? Give you a work better experience, hugely benefit for small business owners on the amount of things that AI can do. What this will impact is the labor side, because now some of these small, minuscule tasks, repetitive knowledge work could be done by AI. The business model changed because you can replace 10 paid seats for a traditional SaaS product and challenge per seat pricing model that the software has lived on for decades. So not only are we benefiting from the fact that we can change up the model in which we hire, right? We could get more for less because AI can do so many different task-oriented things. We also can compete at pricing because SaaS became a big deal when small businesses became a big deal for companies. Because now with software can come in there, now you have things where we can do accounting, we can do all these different things through software. Now AI is coming in and disrupt that. Now you can price pinpoint because they can do it cheaper, and 9 times out of 10 you can integrate the AI inside the software. So let's look at where we get into the reframing of it. Reframing AI as an industrial revolution and not just a software upgrade. What does this mean? In the early 1900s, the big thing around was railroads. How can we build more railroads? Thereby, we can transport people and things across America as America was being built. It totally changed the way we introduced a revolutionary industry. Then steel, when Carnegie came on, because it wasn't just the invention of steel itself, it was what the steel could be able to produce. Build bridges, highways, operate different capacities in which you broke steel down and had its multifunctional use. Now, if we think of AI as the product, but the backbone of the AI product is data centers, the grade chips and memory, power generations, and grid upgrades. The investment scales is hundreds of billions a year in data center AI chips by 2030 and equivalent to a 2% of the US GDP, right? The massive physical build out is the concrete, steel, the fibers, the substantions, the coolant. This requires the skills of blue-collar technicians, electricians, iron workers, crane operators, HVAC, truck drivers, and line workers. This thing introduces a whole new playing field. So if I'm a private investor, I want to be looking at businesses to purchase that's in the blue-collar field, from HVAC to plumbing, because these data centers don't just get dropped in your neighborhood. You have to build it out. You have to land out the model. You have to do the plumbing. You have to upgrade the grid infrastructure. Grid is now working with the energy sector in the energy that houses your city or state. Think about that. The amount of jobs that will create the influx from the blue collar industry, which is why people like BlackRock and Larry Fink is investing hugely into colleges that's producing these blue collar workers. He's been very clear in the research that AI is not just a clever technology trend, but it's a new layer of economic infrastructure. This is an asset class by itself. The private equity and infrastructure funds are thinking the same way. The offensive side, they're pouring capital into AI, data center, grid upgrades, fiber network, and specialized industrial real estate. These are all the industries that this thing is affecting. While they're thinking long-term duration, contract-backed cash flows that look very attractive in the private market. If we fund this, we have a long iteration of money that we're pulling from and can make money off of for our investors. How BlackRock is reframing this is infrastructure build-out, broad AI adoption, and a full economic transformation. That's what the AI is going to do. Now, if we transition this into the blue collar and the AI build out, what happened? AI hidden blue collar stories inside the U.S. economy. Every AI data center is a project, a multi-year demand for trades and local services. Jobs footprint is construction crews, steel workers, electrician, linemen, HVAC, security, logistics, food, housing. The tailwind, transmissions lines, the substantions, the generations, gas, nuclear, and renewable energy. This thing is a multifaceted industry burst. AI has always been here. AI is now a serious disruptor in the industry and now a revolutionary asset class all by itself. And OpenAI and Anthropic are leading the charge by going public in Q4 or Q5 at $1 trillion valuation. Now, when these companies ring the bell, the investors will have a highly paid out payday. So we haven't seen prices getting valued in the trillions of dollars until 2026. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to have a durable engine growth. So you want to look at it for how long can we stay in this thing and what's the growth rate of the AI. Which one of these companies go public first really kind of sets the tone for how the second one will follow up in its follow-up act. Whew. So listen. AI going public, man, don't just think of it as a big tech IPO. You have to think new industry, new infrastructure, blue collar demand. A new questions for investors is, do you want to own the AI apps or the modern equivalent of the steel and power underneath the team? We're talking a revolutionized industry in America today. That's what you have to ask yourself as an investor. If I'm a private equity investor, I'm looking at what companies can we buy into that affects these markets. And if I'm buying a company, how does AI disrupt this current company? And on the public side, we want to think about long-term growth as these companies decide to go public. I'll see you on the next episode.